Hey, T Sports RotoWire, I'm Heather Ankeny, joined by Ben Mankiewicz and RotoWire.com expert Chris Liss, and we're talking Survivor today. Office Pool, Survivor, Eliminator, whatever you want to call it. Chris is...
Survivor or King of the Hill? Eliminator is not a name.
King of the Hill?
Suicide Pool, as they call it?
Yeah, Suicide Pool is acceptable. King of the Hill is acceptable.
I've never heard it called King of the Hill.
You've never heard it called
No.
King of the Hill?
Survivor.
Yeah. All right.
All right,
So,
either way, but
there's some math
Eliminator's
here.
banned.
okay. Well, that's like an ESPN thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's just talk about Survivor. Obviously, people who don't know the rules, you got to pick one team. If they win, you advance. If they lose, you're out. It's really simple, right? The only thing is you can't pick the same team twice. So if you use up the Broncos or the Patriots or the good teams, okay, that's fine. You just don't have those to pick from later on in the season. So it seems like a pretty simple contest. Just pick the easiest, most likely team to win each week, but try to save some better teams for later. That's not how you do it, though.
No, and also the problem is that basically we've reached a point in the NFL where everybody is between 6 and 10 and 10 and 6, so it makes it tough. Like you think you're picking any, the opportunities like last year where the Broncos and the Jaguars, it's few and far between. It's great to find the horrible team and keep taking whoever plays them, but as we learned at some point, these teams, they get better and they start playing and then they start winning a couple games.
That being said, the team to pick, it seems, this week is actually playing the Jaguars.
Yes, that's right.
Well,
How do we get that number?
Okay, they're the most likely team to win, the Eagles, right? Because they're 10.5-point favorites. They're about 84% to win. We got a graphic on this. We basically, there's two variables that you got to take into account. One is right there, there's almost 85% chance to win at that right column, the odds. And then you got to look at how many people are taking them. Well, there's 39%, at least according to officefootballpools.com. I'll look at the Yahoo stats also. You want to look at this huge sort of polling data of where everybody is on these teams, and you see most people have taken them. That's a negative, because if you think about it, the amount of people that take a team kind of governs the payout. Now, what do you mean payout? We're all kind of in the same pool. But if the Eagles were to somehow lose, then a lot of people would lose with them. And you'd be further along in your pool. There'd only be 60 people left, or 61 out of your 100, say, rather than, say, if the Bears lost, there'd be 82 or 81 left out of your 100, say you had a 100-person pool. And so it's much better to be with 61 people. Actually, it's better to be with one person. That means you've won. So the fewer people available means you have better odds of winning the pool, but you got to kind of balance that with how likely is that team to win, how likely are you to survive. Those are two separate variables.
So you're not on the bandwagon every week. You want to be off of the bandwagon team. That's what you're saying.
Within reason, though, right?
Well, I don't know. This guy.
Well, it depends. This is the whole. This is kind of where the rub is. Put it this way: if 60% of the people were on the Eagles, I would fade them. I would take whoever else, because so many people would lose if the Eagles lose. And by the way, if you think, oh, there's no way the Eagles are going to lose to the Jaguars, I'm sorry.
You've never watched an NFL game.
Right.
If you got in an airplane and they said, you know what, the chance of this plane crashing is about the same as the Eagles losing to the Jaguars, you would just like crap your pants, because you'd have like a 15% chance.
It would depend on where you were going.
Well, I don't know how that.
Would you get on the plane?
No, I would not get. It's got.
You're going to get laid at the other end, because then.
It's not like 74 virgins. This is not that situation. Look, what I'm saying is, there's two relevant variables. I think here with only 38, if that's the true number, and it's polling data, we don't know for sure that your pool's going to have 38. I'm going to stick with the easy one. I'm going to take the Eagles. They're the biggest favorite on the board. I'm not going to take the Broncos, who would be my number 2, or the Steelers, who would be kind of my 2A.
But put the graphic up again, just to that point, because I think you're making a really good point. But when I say within reason, like, obviously, if 60, I'm with you. It makes total sense if 60% of the guys in your pool are taking the Eagles, or you don't know exactly, but presumably, then you want to fade him. But you don't want to jump all the way down to a team. You don't want to take the Texans, who are like a 55% chance to beat Washington. You're looking at the teams that are next most likely in your mind. Like, I don't think either of us would be interested in the Bills, but the Steelers never lose to the Browns. They never lose to the Browns in Pittsburgh, basically. That's a safe pick, and it's only 12% less.
Right. Well, the thing is, the bigger, the more people that are on the top team,
gotcha.
There's no team that's that, and you're going to have lots of good choices. But you're right, you would rarely go all the way down. But later in the season,
it makes a difference.
You're going to run out of teams, so you might have to go a little further down. And then you have, but again, there's a math equation in the Survivor column of RotoWire. I'm going to actually do the math for you, and I will show you like which is the best value all the way down. And you got to sometimes take a chance. It's not about how long do we survive. It's
so
about
scary.
Did I win the pool?
No, right. it's about surviving.
Right, you got to factor in the Heather Ankeny factor.
Yeah.
And the Heather Ankeny factor is clearly, just from talking to you out there, is it's week 1. I can't lose week 1. I
I
can't
don't
lose
wanna
week 1.
lose week one.
I can't lose week 1.
I don't want to lose week
so
1.
So it could be
I'm taking the
100%
Eagles.
taking the
Who are you
Eagles. So you would
taking?
take the Eagles.
I'm taking the Eagles, but imagine if you're writing the column, people are reading it and you lose week 1. It's way worse than you losing week 1. And I'm still willing to do it, but not this week. Eagles for me.
And Ben?
Yeah, if I'm in, as you know, I'm in a unique pool where you can buy back in, and at the risk of giving away what seems like an obvious strategy, if you're in a pool where you can buy back in through the first 6 weeks, it makes no sense to take any good teams. Like you want to find a team that has a reasonable chance. You don't want to give money away. But that said, I want to have 5 solid teams in week 7. If I had to take one team this week and there weren't an option to buy back in, I would take the Eagles.
Okay. Yeah. And who are you taking that pool that I'm in also?
I don't know, like the Texans.
Right. Just
somebody who I think is going to win, and
Yeah.
then I'm never going to want to use them again.
All right, cool. Good luck.